What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. This time Star Wars Force Awakens Captain Phasma. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this figure or Star Wars in general, but I gotta admit Star Wars makes awesome figures, but so I got this at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link down below, by the way. It's currently, I wouldn't say sale, but they have a good deal on it. It's basically comes out to $100, so you still pay $250. After 3 days, they'll ship it. 3 days after they ship the figure, they'll give you $150 store credit. So in retrospect, this would be $100 because that $150 I'm gonna use for another figure. If you have any pre-orders, it would automatically apply to that pre-order. Or if you want to purchase another figure, that so you take $150 less. So however you want to put it, yes, the savings is not right away, but you still get it. You're still going to get $150 off your next purchase. So that's a pretty good deal in my opinion, especially for Phasma. Or for a Hot Toys in general. To buy a Hot Toys for $100 new from a reputable dealer like Big Bad Toy Store, I think it's a steal. And their shipping is $4. So, and it's double boxed. I'm not a big fan of the character. I wouldn't pay $250 for it. I think $250 is way overpriced. I wasn't even keen on buying it for $200. It was on sale for $200. I still didn't bought it. The last sale on Big Bad, she would come up to $150. I was a little bit intrigued, but still wasn't enough to pull the trigger. But after they did the $150 cashback, the $150 store credit bonus, I'm in. As far as accessories, as far as the figure itself, it is decent. You can see the hands that I have in here. She doesn't come with a lot of accessories, although her hands are. The figure itself is unique. It's a unique combination. It's basically a chrome stormtrooper. We all know this. She has been released 2 years ago now, and let's just say it's safe to say that the entire line of the Force Awakens is not the most popular release by Hot Toys. That's why you can see them on bargain bins and getting store credit. They are good figures so far. I got Finn. This sale by Big Bad, by the way, is making me really broke right now, but I just can't help it, guys. Every time I see a good deal, I know a good deal when I see one, and any Hot Toys for $100, regardless if it's Phasma or a Stormtrooper, I gotta get it. You might not appreciate it now, but for that price, my goodness. So you can see she comes with this awesome rifle. Lots of details in here. Like I said, Phasma, they're trying to, I believe that they were trying to make Phasma this modern day Boba Fett, which limited screen time, just look badass. And that's what she does. Unfortunately, I don't think it's, at least for me, it's not working out too well. I thought she was going to have a bigger role in on The Last Jedi, but still not much there. She didn't change her look, so she didn't warrant a new figure. But like in hand, this figure, she comes with this stand as well. So you can see from the Star Wars font, there's like little stars in there, and you can see the First Order insignia right there. And if you put her side by side to a regular trooper, the regular trooper would be obviously white and shorter, but armor wise everything looks exactly the same. She's just chromed and taller with a cape, which is not a bad thing. I think she looks pretty mean and pretty intimidating. It doesn't have the wow factor. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got her. Open her up. I was excited because I got her for pretty cheap, $100. I got $150 store credit, which I could use for my under Wonder Woman pre-order, or whichever's going to come first, Wonder Woman or the Star Ace Leonidas. But my mentality is I'm going to use that $150 somewhere else. So basically I got this figure for $100. I was actually just recycling it because prior to this I bought Nick Fury, as I reviewed that maybe a month ago, and I got 75 out of that. I used that 75, so I'm just cycling their store credit basically. I'm still paying, don't get me wrong, out of pocket, but it gets easier and easier. So as far as her, you can see there's some nice weathering effect on her armor. There's some black spots. She's wearing high heels. She's a female. Brienne, I believe, from Game of Thrones. I forgot her real name, but she is a tall lady. But they're capitalizing on her Game of Thrones, and all that good stuff. But I just don't think the character was executed properly. They made that mistake with Boba. They thought he was just a background character, but I seen the behind the scenes interview with George Lucas. I guess he didn't anticipate Boba to be a fan favorite. But I don't know. She was pretty famous before becoming Captain Phasma. I'm not quite sure why she's not giving a lot of screen time or some epic scenes, but as far as a figure, she would stand out in your collection. She's huge, she's shiny, and she's total badass, especially if you surround her with more troopers. She would look more like a general, which she is. She's a captain, but that's where she stands out. I mean, she would stand out with Kylo Ren as well, but she's gonna be in the back end because Kylo is kind of the head. The head sculpt right here, it's a regular stormtrooper again. You can see some black speckles on, you can see me there too, on the helmet. It looks good, it looks like a regular stormtrooper, like I said, but I guess it all depends too. I mean, in my opinion, when I bought this figure, I didn't need to be a massive Star Wars fan. I have a lot of Star Wars figure for somebody who's not a huge Star Wars fan. I do appreciate Star Wars, don't get me wrong. I'm just not too emotionally invested into it. But I love their characters, love the character design, love the universe. I like it. I'm not gonna research every single thing about it, but especially their villains. Their villains are Darth Maul. I can't wait to get that guy too. I think it's somewhat to release next year or so, but he is just, that's perfection right there from what I saw from Hot Toys previews. As far as Captain Phasma, still looking good looking figure. It's not as light as I thought it would be. I watched some reviews and they said she was light. She is, but it's not. It's no any different than any other Hot Toys that I received that are not die-cast. Does she feel cheap? I wouldn't say that. And the chrome is not as bad as I thought it would be as far as thumbprint is concerned. I thought it was going to be a thumbprint magnet. Not really. I didn't have to wear gloves, although I did order some gloves just in anticipation because I did order some stormtroopers as well. But it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied, especially for the price that I got her for, $100. So you can't really beat that. At least for me, I just don't have that, that excited feeling when you open up the Hot Toys, especially when I got her in hand. The cape is, looks good as well, as you can see here. I'm just doing a high comparison between our regular stormtrooper. Obviously she's towering over that stormtrooper. With Kylo Ren, a little bit taller, not much, but as you can see there, and then the cape that I got was a bit messed up on the button, so it's not completely flat out, so it's not draping as well as I wanted it to be. It's, again, if you're a huge fan, I think it's a must-have, especially for the price, $100. Even if you're not a big fan like myself, I think it's, you gotta get that. And they're stormtroopers. If you haven't checked out their sale, go ahead and click the link down below in my video. I was gonna get Cloud, but it got sold out. There was an Iron Man as well that got sold out, so it's running out fast. So I gotta step my game up. And I'm just giving you some. So these are the poses that most likely you would put him or her in your display case or whatever the case may be. And this is a good look right here. You got Kylo Ren with her in the background and another stormtrooper. Right now, if you want to build an army, now is the time at Big Bad, because their stormtroopers are dirt cheap. They're cheaper than the bootleg that I bought, the Storm Ace or whatever it is, Storm Toys, I think, a trooper that I reviewed maybe a year or two ago. I bought it for $90. they got some stormtroopers that, you know, if you factor in again the store credit, it come out of around $85 in their hot toys. So if you are building an army, let's just say 5 at a time or so, that would only cost you less than $500. So it's not bad. I mean, if you can shell out $500, good for you on stormtroopers. I wanted to. I mean, I think it looks good on your display, but I don't know. I'm just not willing. I'm not that big of a fan to shell out $500 on stormtroopers. I wish I did, because they, you know, they would. I'm sure that would look pretty badass in my display cabinet. And being led by Captain Phasma here, or Kylo Ren. As far as articulation, this been, you know, there's countless reviews of this. It's not as bad articulated wise. The Stormtrooper was bad. With her, there's a lot of arm movements, as you can see here. I can, you know, fold the elbow that high up. With a regular Stormtrooper, that would be a struggle. But with her, it's pretty easy. There's no pushback when it comes to the inner suit rubber. But, you know, in the leg part, it's pretty bad. But I don't think she did any dynamic poses anyway on the movie. And, you know, with her standing just holding a gun, that she looks pretty intimidating by itself. So I don't think you need to be super creatives. But if you're looking for a figure that you can, you know, just be dynamic with, then don't get her. Get Finn. You know, Finn has no restriction whatsoever. But if you want somebody just standing up there, museum pose, or something holding the gun in their hand, yep, she's pretty badass. And there you go, guys. This is my take on Captain Phasma. Is she worth $250? Absolutely not. Not even $200. You know what? I didn't even budge for $150, but for $100, man, it's not. It's a no-brainer. That's my take on it. Now, if you don't think she's worth it, that's okay too. You know, just more for other collectors, I guess. So thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, because I post pictures in there every once in a while. And you guys are going to see a whole lot of Force Awakens in the next few days. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.